Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations coming at you today with another video, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the brand new Crash Bandicoot. That is right, man. If you don't already know, Crash has officially dropped on the mobile platform, specifically iOS, I believe, right now. I'm not sure why it didn't drop on Android first, specifically, but nevertheless, we're going to be diving into the game today. I'm super excited to bring this one to you guys. It's super nostalgia, man. If you grew up playing the Crash Bandicoot games originally on the PlayStation 1, then you're absolutely going to have a blast inside this application. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I want to show you guys is going to be the actual gameplay of the game, because I know there's going to be a lot of players out there that have never dove into a Crash game before ever in their life. Wow, that's super sad for them, but anyways, with that being said, I think showing you guys some gameplay right off of the bat is going to be very important. So let's go ahead and click in here and show you guys what an individual stage is in the game, and what you can expect out of the individual gameplay. So the first thing that you need to know right off of the bat is that this is going to be a very similar running simulator style game as things like Subway Surfers and like Temple Run. So if you know anything about those two games, you pretty much understand the concept of Crash on the individual levels. A couple of additional things, though, when it comes to the actual Crash games, is there's a lot more mechanics inside the level. So that's going to be things like hidden areas. There's going to be different floors. There's going to be boxes that you can destroy to gain additional resources. The entire objective of the level, obviously, is to beat that level, but also to collect a ton of resources that you can utilize elsewhere in the game. And then not only that, there's just a lot of additional mechanics, especially when it comes to boss fights, because once you get to a boss stage, there's additional mechanics that the boss can actually do on the fly that you don't know about until you get to that specific stage. So again, just overall, really awesome game. I'm super excited to bring it to you guys. So as you can see here on screen, there's individual skins is what they actually call them in the game. They used to be characters, but anyways, these skins actually do have different effects and everything. So you know, we're not going to dive too deep into that, but you can also play as Coco as well. So currently right now, I believe that is the only two characters that you can play as in this mobile game. More might be coming, I'm not sure, but anyway, so we're going to use the blue hyena for this run. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So these as you can see here, hitting these buttons will obviously move these stones around, which is kind of a cool mechanic, and it adds a little bit of uniqueness to the game. Now, basically, what we're going to be doing here, as you can see, is we're going to be diving into the individual crates, destroying those crates, collecting as much resources as possible as we can. These question marks will actually blow up those green nitro boxes. You can see that we could jump up here as well to take advantage of this area, and pretty much all you're doing at this point is collecting as much as possible, trying to avoid any obstacles that will cause damage to you or otherwise destroy this little floating mask or tiki mask that is floating over my shoulder, because that's going to be pretty much like your temporary lives in the game. As you take damage, that you will lose that mask. Now, if you collect additional copies of that mask, it will actually change colors, which then all it pretty much does is just add additional you know, hits that you can take. But anyways, and then as you can see here, each individual mini boss has a unique mechanic. So you need to make sure that you are not getting hit by those spiders or those rolling balls. Now, those spiders do move pretty fast, actually, though, to be honest with you. I just got to that point. But anyway, so as you can see here, some of the individual stages, like these ones, are super easy. Obviously, it seems really easy for me here on screen for you guys. But anyways, this is going to be really early on in the game, which is very typical for Crash games. As you continue to progress through the campaign and the story mode, and as you clear additional levels, you can see that's only level 3. It's not anything crazy, but you can see that as you start to progress through the game, the levels actually get really hard, and not only that, it just adds a lot more strategy when it comes to the individual boss fights. And yes, I don't mean to spoil it for you, but at least back in the day when I played on the PlayStation 1, there was even levels without you knowing until you dove into that level that were backwards. Yeah, exactly. You can't see the map until it loads up onto your screen, and your character is running this way, not this way. So you can't see what's coming. Very, very challenging, very unique, and really, really cool. I hope they brought some of that stuff back into this game. I'm looking forward to something like that. So the next thing that I want to show you guys right off of the bat, and that is going to be the home screen. You can see we've got a lot of additional buildings here floating around. Some of these buildings are going to be only available for repair, so you're not going to have all these unlocked right off the bat when you load into the game. It's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to a lot of additional mobile-based simulation games, where you're pretty much just going to be repairing the items on your screen, and then in order to utilize those items in some sort of fashion. So to give you guys an example here, we've got a couple of different things that we have already went ahead and built. So the first one obviously is going to be the lab. So the nitro lab, you basically create these nitro serums, you create these individual resource items that you need to run specific boss stages, because this game actually doesn't have a stamina driven system, which again is very, very nice in my personal opinion. But what they do have is specific resources that you have to grind out and collect that does take in real life time. So to give you guys an example, you can see that it takes 1 minute to craft one of these nitro serums. And then you go all the way over to something like this, which is going to take up to 3 hours in order to craft one of these bazookas. Now, I'm not sure what level you have to be in order to that, a stage requires a bazooka for 3 hours, but nevertheless, it's going to eventually get to that point. Now, currently, right now, we are in the Frosty Lab. A lot of the bosses that I'm currently doing right now, or at least the stages that I'm doing, are going to require these Frosty Lab or Frosty serums. So we're going to have to basically be making these Frosty serums. Now, you can see that they do require these specific resources that I don't have. You have the ability to buy those with in-game currency, or you can also hit the map, which brings us to another thing to show you guys on the screen for the first impressions, and that's going to be pretty much the farming areas. Now, these individual stages you actually have to run. So if I click on one of these stages to give you guys an example, you can see what loot is currently available in those specific stages, and not only that, you can also look at some of the individual challenges that you can complete that will give you these additional resources on the left-hand side here. But it's a very cool and unique system. You basically grind out the individual stages infinitely as many times as you want. You pretty much grind out the resources that you need, and then once you get the resources that you need, you go back to your home, you go to that individual lab, craft up one of these serums, which again take time. That's the downside when it comes to this. It's pretty much similar to stamina. You can grind out a handful of these automatically. You can buy these with in-game currency, and maybe that's where it kind of leans a little bit more towards the not really pay to win, but more of like a, you can pay real money microtransactions. There we go. That's the word that I'm looking for. So I guess there is always that, you can get into spending a little bit of money into the game and buying some of these resources. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the home base. You've got, obviously, like I said, your individual stages that you can clear for progressing in the story. You've got some of these here that you have to repair with resources. And then last but not least, something I really do like that they've added in here is they've got some coming soon stages. Now, why am I excited about coming soon stages? Well, as a content creator, it's very promising when a game has some content that's loaded up somewhere that looks promising, that basically gives you some sort of idea that the developers are still working on this game and they're not looking just to make some quick money and get out. So I really do like the fact that they've got some coming soon stuff. And then on the left-hand side here, you can see and we also have this chick here. We just unlock the ability to join what they call teams in this game. So it's pretty similar to guilds in other games. You basically just join into individual teams. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I clicked out of there, but you can basically join up to individual teams. If I click on this, it's going to load them up. You can see all of the random public teams that people have created, and you can also create a team yourself. But anyways, what you're pretty much doing is you're running all together. You're trying to get the furthest or that you can in a specific, basically infinite stage. It's called survival. You run as long as you possibly can. Pretty similar to something like Subway Surfers. You're going to be running those stages, and then your points are going to be accumulated based on the distance that you travel for your individual team, and then that basically is how your team is ranked. But again, very unique system. I was very curious as a content creator how they were going to incorporate some sort of guild system into the game. So it's very unique, and I really do like the take that they've taken with this specific Crash gameplay style. So that's going to be pretty much it when it comes to the team section. There's nothing too major there to discuss. We talked a little bit about the individual farming stages. Now, these islands are going to be the islands that you will unlock as you collect these individual power gems, I guess is what they're calling them. But as you unlock these individual islands, you will then be able to farm those additional resources from those islands. Again, that's going to be where you get all those resources that you're going to need in order to do the individual missions for the story mode. So again, it's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I've been having a blast playing the game. I've got roughly, I don't even know, 2 hours into the game. Maybe at this point, maybe not consecutively, but I've got about 2 hours into this game. We're still in the early stages as far as, you know, content-wise. I'm sure as I discover more stuff, I will probably put out a couple more videos on this game just because I've already stumbled into some tips and things that I think that I can offer some of those beginner players that have never played a Crash game ever. So again, we'll definitely dive into something like that. You can also see that we do have some you know, instant quests. So we've got some of these you know, go on a collection run in the Lost City, collect chill berries, and then go on a collection run in the Turtle Wood. So again, pretty simple challenges or missions and quests to do, but just another way for you to gain additional resources. Last but not least, before we hop out of here, I want to dive into a little bit of the microtransactions. So as I already mentioned, for some of these packs, you can actually spend real money. They give you a lot of value for some of these prices. I mean, for as little as $5, you get some in-game currency. You get a buttload of resources that you need to unlock and repair some of those additional you know, areas or additional like labs and stuff in the actual home screen. And then look at this, for $1.99 you could get 140 of those purple gems. That's a really good buy. And then obviously you do have the free options. You can watch some ads to claim some additional resources. You've got the daily free mushroom. As you can see, your boys already claimed it. And then obviously you can buy the skins as well with in-game currency, and then you can even buy some additional resources with in-game currency. Now they do have some subscription offers as well. I think this is a really smart offer, just because when it comes to subscriptions on a business standpoint, these are pretty much signing people up to take on a certain amount of money per month, and it also adds a lot of value to the individual player if they are currently actively playing. So again, very, very cool. And then they obviously have some survival run tickets, which you're going to need these in order to run the survival mode for your individual team. And then last but not least, you can buy obviously more in-game currency with real money. But I think that's going to be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. For the sake of the first impressions video, I just wanted to try to keep it you know, plain and simple for you guys, give you guys some gameplay, what you can expect, and not only, baby, be excited, man. I'm telling you what, if you are a long-term Crash fan like I am, then I'm going to be definitely hopping in here and grinding this bad boy out off screen. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notification every time we drop a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.